Good afternoon, everybody. Anybody? There's one. Perfect. Hey, I figured out. I did my setup, but let's put our mic in. Let's do that. Let's plug in. Thought I was all ready. Apparently not. Okay, let's do this. Click, buzz, boom. There we go. That might help a little bit too. Changed my video setup. Instead of waiting that potentially 20 seconds or longer to get my little monitor, I just flipped my iPad around. So now I'm looking at it live. The only thing that's going to be a little weird is if I'm showing a label of something, which I typically don't do all the time, it's going to show up backwards because I'm filming with the big screen. So I'm looking at exactly the exact frame that I'll be shooting from. So that's that. That's my little bit of housekeeping. Oh, and this, I oiled the return springs on my oven door. So that should keep the decibel level down too. Okay, let's get going. I'm gonna give my hands a quick wash and then we'll get at it. Excellent. Today we are going to make a white chocolate and walnut baklava. So a Middle Eastern dessert. It has, well, I just kind of blew it. It has white chocolate. It has walnuts. So let's go through our meats. Let's start with phyllo. Let me pull out some phyllo pastry. This stuff, you gotta really watch that it doesn't dry out on you, hence the what seems I wasn't really prepared. I actually was. Okay, so this is phyllo, for those that don't know, and there are a few. It is paper thin dough. Let's do this guy here. That's what the size I'm gonna need anyway. Oh, sweet. Paper thin dough. Super, super fine. And it dries out at the drop of a hat. So I'm going to grab a damp cloth. I'm gonna need this batch right here. It comes in probably like an A2 size sheet. So I don't know, what's that, 18 by 12 by 18, somewhere in there. 12 by 24. And it comes up rolled. So the box is actually only, I don't have the box here anymore. The box is about that long. Square. You know, you get the idea. Okay, let me just put this back in there. I'm going to put this right here for a sec. I probably will, no, I'm going to need to trim that out anyway. No worries. Then I'm going to get that under a damp towel. Right smartly. There's a damp towel. Alright, nice clean hand towel. I'm just going to park this right here. It's not going far. Okay. And then we'll come back to that in a sec. I'm going to build mine in my favorite little squares. So basically, the volume that I'm going to be doing today is the equivalent of like an 8 by 13. So you'll be able to either two of these guys, or one big one. I'm going to do one little guy. So I'm going to have some leftovers. You'll understand why later on. And I've got a cup of white chocolate, just those little white chocolate chippets. 2 cups of whole walnuts. Let's actually do this right now. I'm not going to bother food processing. I'm just going to beat these guys into submission. So I'm going to load this into a bag. So there's my 2 cups of walnuts. 1 cup of white chocolate chips. And I've got half a cup of just white granulated sugar here. Okay. Let's get rid of this stuff. So we're going to put this off to the side. Then I've got my meat tenderizer. Let's get some air out of that right now. Meat tenderizer, I'm just going to beat on these for a couple minutes. It doesn't have to be crazy, crazy fine. I've also got half a cup of melted butter. I'm going to put that into this measure right now because I need this little saucepan for the next step. I'm just going to rinse and wipe this saucepan out. It's okay if there's a little bit of residual butter in there, not a biggie. And I'm going to turn this burner on. I'm going to turn it fairly high right off the bat. So we'll assemble all that stuff in a sec. I want to get, it needs a syrup to finish it. So with the syrup, I've got about a cup of orange juice. That's going into there. Half a cup of, you can use white granulated sugar, you can use brown sugar. I'm using cane sugar. So half a cup of cane sugar into there. A little bit of cinnamon. About a teaspoon of cinnamon, or a little better. Yeah, let's do a teaspoon. Teaspoon of cinnamon. And a tablespoon of honey. I've got buckwheat honey here, because that's what I have. Regular honey's fine, just the regular Bee's Made or whatever if you want to do some fancy stuff. So this is buckwheat flour honey. And I got a tablespoon of that that's going to go into there. And then I've got this on medium-high right now. As soon as it comes up to the boil, I'm going to turn it down, simmer it, and reduce it. And that's going to cook down into this awesome little syrup that we're going to need at the end. So that's kind of one of those set it, forget it moves. I'll keep an eye on it. It's right in front of me, so I won't lose sight of it. Oh shit. I almost wiped my hands on that. I forgot that phyllo was in there. I wonder why that thing was so heavy. And I'm just going to give this a little stir right now. And there we go. And hey, look what happened. My brand new butcher block is empty. Look at that beauty, eh? Got a new sponsor, Mark Ducharme from Mark Your Woodworks. Make Your Mark Woodworks. Jeez, I'm brain farting here. Make Your Mark Woodworks out of Creston, BC. This, I've never been so excited about a freaking butcher block or cutting board before in my life. This thing is an absolute beauty. So I put a post up there about 20 minutes ago. Check it out. Go to he's got a website up there, a WordPress website, and he's got a Etsy page, so you can check him out on Etsy. And he does butcher blocks, cutting boards, and full-blown countertops, full-blown like maple countertops. My buddy Marty, he just had countertops done by Mark. That's what got me onto him. And I'm like, holy shit, is that beautiful? So yeah, check that out. And I'll be bragging about this for a while yet. So don't you worry. Do I dare put it to? No, it's gonna. Maybe not. Let's put it to the test. It's a butcher block. It's 1.5 inches thick. Shouldn't be too loud. Oh no! Look at that. I'm gonna take this guy out right now, though. Hey, look at that. There's some pretty awesome. I'm not even worried that I'm on my glass top stove right now. That does not bother me. And I'm getting huge wafts of cinnamon right now too from the syrup that we're making. So you don't have to go crazy. Could have done a better job at taking some air out of here too. Let's do that. I'll leave one corner opened up so it'll just push that air out. It's not going to make anything go flying. Not worried about the chips. I'm worried about the walnuts. I want the walnuts pretty small, okay? So keep in mind, I'm only doing basically a half order right now. So I'm going to have about half of this left over at the end. Not to panic. You need your oven at 350. So you can go ahead and do that. I've already got mine on. I'm going to turn that down now. And I can reintroduce this guy back into here. And I'm just going to let that simmer down to thicken up. Oven at 350. Baking time is going to be about 45 minutes. Check it at 45. Should be nice and golden brown. There's going to be a boatload of butter introduced into this. And I don't see any issue with that at all. Butter is a beautiful thing. So let's get our station set up. I'm going to be building this guy right here. I'm going to trim out and lose that first sheet because that's caca. I'm going to trim this out to fit exactly my dish size, okay? Or not exactly, but you know what I mean, close enough. Closer than what it is right now. Okay. These outer sheets get super dry super quick. All right, that's what happens when you. Okay, so I need to go about there. Okay, you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm going to park this off to the side. I don't care about that right now. All right. I'm going to move this to the front. I'm going to move my towel back here. And I'm going to try and keep that covered. As soon as you'll know exactly once it starts drying out. You need a pastry brush. And I'm going to lay it in first. Okay, so there's a real shite layer right there. Oh, there we go. There's a good one. Here comes a good one next. You can actually get these in like real fine thread shapes too, in the bigger centers. Okay, so you're going to be buttering every layer. I'm going to put a little bit of butter down there just to glue it. Okay, so I got one down. Two's going in. Every layer, do not omit this step. Because it doesn't have to be perfectly saturated. Just make sure there's some butter on every layer. Okay, here's 3. Push those edges down too as you're going. Number 4. And obviously take your time. Or don't. Either way. One's going to be more rustic than the other. Okay, number 5. 6. Are you wondering when I'm going to stop yet? You're going to see here in a sec. We're stopping at 7. Okay, so number 7, that's the last of our bottom layer. So it's 747 is how I remember. Like, remember the jumbo jet. Okay, so 747. So 7 here. Then it's filling time. Turn that down a little bit more. Syrup is smelling awesome. I'm going to take a good handful into here and just lay it out. Get it about a centimeter thick. Okay. Make sure there's lots of sugar in there too, because all that stuff's going to melt and caramelize. Okay, so there's 7. And then a layer of filling. And then we're going to do 4. There's number 2. I'm not too worried about how pretty that looks. Set that line. Number 3. Press those edges down. And number 4. Okay, another layer. So 7, 4, another layer. Another dust of my hands. Boys are going to like that when they come back in. And then our last 7. Press that down. Come on. This is semi like watching grass grow. At least I'm only doing one little one, not one big one. Okay, that's 2. Here's 3. Almost done. Well over the hump now. This is actually kind of a dumb one to do on. There's a little bit of mindless busy work here. 5. 6. And number last. And number 7. Okay, that's it. How long did that take? We're 14 minutes in. big one is going to take marginally longer, but not much. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Give a little wipe down. So then this is going to go into a 350 oven for 45 minutes. Don't want to get my board all dirty. I might hang that sucker on the wall. That's how pretty that thing is. Okay, into the oven. 350, 45 minutes. Whoa, what the hell? 45 minutes is up. Look at that. What a concept. Just going to load that onto a plate right now. This one was actually just kind of warming up. I cannot leave that like that. It will drive me nuts. And just knowing that it's there, not even seeing it. And then we're going to take our syrup. And that syrup is actually right there. So, this is darker. I'm using cane sugar, but the big difference there is that I'm using that buckwheat honey. So it's nice and dark, okay? Nice golden caramel color. And what you're going to do is after this guy comes out of the oven, you're going to pour that syrup right over top and it's going to soak in. Okay, so I'm just kind of using half of this amount of syrup. And this is a measure of self-control that needs to happen after. Better not do that. You got to let that cool off to room temperature to let that syrup soak right in. Otherwise, it's just kind of a gloopy mess. It looks like a pudding. But hey, I have his twin brother right here that I did about an hour ago. And that is the finished product. So we can do one of a few things here. I don't know, do we try and invert it? Do we try and pull it out of there? Let's try and pull it out of there. What the hell? Let's give that a shot. Then you can really see it from the sides. I'm going to go around the edge real quick just for shits and giggles. Oh, I'm good. I'm money. Oh yeah, good times. Vanilla ice cream on top of this is the bomb. I don't have it because otherwise we'd just eat it if we did. Okay, so there is that baklava. And all that butter in between all the layers makes some steam. So everything kind of puffs up like millefeuille. So it's just a whole bunch of layers of goodness in there. Play around with flavors too. As far as like white chocolate, you could use dark chocolate. I just like white chocolate. I think the aesthetic of it's better. Change your nuts up. Change up your nuts. And yeah, you can. Oh, there's a better side right there. So see that? So there is baklava. White chocolate baklava. It's going to take you about an hour and about half an hour 40 to rest. So about an hour and 40. So easy McPeasy. Big knob of ice cream. Shit, I should have grabbed ice cream. What a goof. Anyway, so that's about it. 20 minutes in. Nice, quick, and dirty. This is why I don't do desserts very often. There's a lot of standing around watching, doing nothing. What else are you doing? Father's Day draw, the Hucky's Beaver Rub. Got that contest going on. I'm going to do that on Friday. Wednesday's like a full-on Creston show. Wednesday we're doing Crestview lamb. We're doing kebabs your uncle. So I'm going to do a couple different meat on sticks. So going to do a lamb kafta from the Crestview lamb that I've got. Got some beautiful ground lamb. And I'm going to do a Turkish chicken one, which will be just great. And yeah, so lamb from Creston, my butcher block from Creston. Columbia Brewery came up with a new beer a couple weeks ago. Apex Elevation, it's from Creston. So yeah, Wednesday's going to be a crazy old Creston show. Thank Jill and the gang over at Stoke Market for doing Meatless Monday again this week. Wasn't much of a Meatless Monday, but what the hell? There's no meat in there, so what the heck? So yeah, check out Stoke Market if you're looking for any of these ingredients. Phyllo, that kind of stuff, white chocolate. That's where I got my walnuts from. Walnuts, They are trying to keep pricing down by packaging them in one cup bags at the larger chains, and that's just annoying. So Stoke has lots of, they got lots in the bulk section there. So just ask for help and they'll load you up some bulk. Or actually, I bet you Phil has it too, Jill's other store. So yeah, so that's it. 20 after 4. 4:20 for whoever's interested. And yeah, there we go. We'll see you on Wednesday and we'll do some kebabs your uncle's. Cool. All right, thanks guys. That's awesome. Cheers.